Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the Coach Hurst show. This is Eli alongside Coach Hurst. Coach Hurst, how's it going?
It's going good. I brought a little special guest, Bennett, today.
That's awesome. I love to see it, Redbird in the making.
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of torn of what to start with. We're going to have another special guest on in a little bit, too. Kind of want to get your feel on that thrilling game last night against Dunlap. What are kind of your thoughts after that game coming into practice today?
Coming into practice today, I definitely knew our bodies were probably pretty tired, so we took a little bit of a lighter practice today, had our athletic trainer, Jessica, come in, do some yoga just so we can prepare for kind of that big game happening on Saturday against Washington. But I was very pleased with the way that we were able to come out and execute, and knew it was going to be a game of runs, and we came out on top. So
Yeah, I believe we were down double digits there in that first quarter, clawed our way back up by 5 at halftime. Then we got a little rocky there in the third quarter like we talked about last night. Redbirds prevailed in the end, though.
yes. We knew, like I said, it was going to be a game of runs. We were going to have to go up and down. We knew that they were going to have some really solid scorers. We knew that we also had some people that could definitely do some things back and be able to make it competitive. But we were excited with how we played. So.
And talk about their guard play, though. Dunlap's guard play, it was really good last night. It was still a high-scoring affair. I felt like we kind of held their guards in check for the most part. I know Haywood kind of went off there in the first half for quite a few points, but goalie kind of held her to maybe a number that she's not seen very often this season.
Yeah, we were able to keep them pretty much in check, but then also to eliminate those other scorers for them. So we were able to have a really good outcome for us defensively. But that was like our main goal, is to be able to defend well against those two and to have a good run on offense.
Yeah, and then defense as well in that East Peoria game. We did the East Peoria game there. It was the prelim for that unified game and that boys game. You guys looked great in that East Peoria game as well. I mean, I don't want to call it a get-right game. It was a Mid-Illini game, but it was a good tune-up game for this Dunlap game.
Yeah, last week we definitely really focused on getting back to basics, really getting all the things that we needed to have aligned for this week to really perfect them. So that was a lot of our practices for last week. So I think going into yesterday's game, we were really prepared with how to respond in a lot of those situations.
And this recent run you guys have been on, I believe you're 9-2 or something close to that in your last 11 games. What does this run kind of mean for this ball club coming into their second round of Mid-Illini play?
I think it's a lot. I think it means a lot. I think we've definitely practiced and prepared for this half of our conference, and especially having Dunlap, Washington, Morton all back-to-back like that. We've got to just have our minds ready also. I've told them at this point of the season it's as much of a physical game as it's going to be a mental game, especially now that we're back in school again and having to kind of have our focus in two areas. So.
And I believe you guys now are in sole possession of that third-place spot in the Mid-Illini standings, and you're playing 1 and 2 coming up respectively here. That kind of sets up two heavyweight bouts here coming up within the next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and then last night, actually, during our game as well, Morton was able to beat Washington at Morton, so that puts us in a really good spot to be able to be competitive with Washington on Saturday. Same thing happened to us last year. We were at Dunlap when Morton beat Washington at Washington. So last year we went into the fourth quarter up by 1 after a big Kessel 3, so kind of hoping to have the same competitive game and atmosphere. We know we're at their place, but it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we lost to both those teams, those two Mid-Illini losses, but we played with them down the stretch. That Washington, they kind of ran it up there in the fourth quarter. I feel like that score, I've been saying it all along, that score didn't really reflect how close that game was after the first quarter, at halftime, and after the third quarter even. Then you go back to that Morton game. I know you weren't really there for it, but I'm sure you watched it and you watched film on it. I feel like we really held them in check. They didn't shoot it very well, but they just kind of took advantage of some offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and also for both of those games, we weren't fully healthy. I mean, Leah went out after the first quarter at Washington. Jalen was coming back from her concussion, so we didn't have either of them for the Morton game. So I think going into this next week, with how well we've been taking care of ourselves and how well we've been playing, we should have a full group to be able to go into both of these games with high competition.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you kind of winding down the schedule. You only have those 7 games left, those 7 conference games. No non-cons for tune-ups or kind of get-right games. It's kind of got to be a little bit emotional, kind of a little bittersweet. You've been on this such great run, but it's not to an end yet. But the end's it's in view.
It feels really weird because I feel like part of the season was kind of robbed from me from obviously having a baby. So it's gone a lot faster than I wanted it to, especially spending time with our seniors and having just this really great group to work with. But definitely fun, because that means we're getting closer to an opportunity to have a regional host here. So we're just really excited about that too. So as much as it sucks that we're getting down to the end, I think we're also getting closer to where we see our goals kind of getting to. So
I haven't gotten a chance to look at that regional draw. I know the regular season is still going on. I haven't gotten a chance to look at that regional draw though. Is it similar to the boys, or who's?
So we actually got a really good draw. We have Dixon and Sterling, which are two really competitive teams, but then we also have a lot of other schools that are not in our conference. So we've got LaSalle, Peru, I believe, Pontiac, Ottawa. I can't remember all the other ones, but all of the powerhouses kind of got pushed to the other side. So we're actually in an opportunity right now to not have to face Washington in a regional, which has not been the case in the last 3 years. So the girls were pretty excited about having an opportunity to face a different opponent potentially in that regional final, rather than the last few years having to face Washington for a third time. So.
And Washington got us last year, right?
They did. They got us in the first round. We were technically a semifinal round last year, but then the 2 previous years we've had to play them in the regional finals.
Do you prefer playing those teams that maybe you're not as familiar with, rather than playing the teams you've been familiar with all season?
I think so. I think it's a mindset thing too, with especially it being Washington. I think even though if we did have to face a Sterling or a Dixon, with them being really competitive, we're able to go in there with a clear headspace and know that we have all the potential to beat them, whereas Washington kind of gives us, whether we want it to or not, but it's the third time that we're playing them, so it makes it difficult to have at least the full competitive edge on that.
Yeah, and you can't really bring in anything new. You know, you've put everything out there. You know, by the second time you've played them, it's
Right.
kind of hard to install anything new.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we take a break, and when we get back, we'll bring in a special guest. Welcome back in. We're joined by one of the Redbird players tonight. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Abby Peterson.
And your number.
Oh, I'm number 33.
And what grade are you in?
I'm a junior at Metamora, and I play as one of our posts.
And I kind of led with this question for your coach as well tonight. What are your thoughts after that big win last night?
After that big win last night, okay, so it's either we won and we were going to take third in conference, or we were going to lose and like tie for fourth. So we really wanted that third place to prove that we are like a top competitor in our conference. And so, I mean, beating Dunlap, like we started off a little bit rough, but coming back to prove that we are a good team, we're a competitor, like Washington and Morton, like they have to be ready for us. Like we are a team they need to prep for, and we proved that last night coming back from that.
Yeah, you know, those two great guards played, and, you know, you guys kind of shut them down. I know you didn't really play much defense on them. You were kind of down in the lower post, you know, but you held your presence down there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've kind of been that sixth person, seventh person off the bench, but when you come in, me and Ty talked about it at that East Peoria game. You come in, you make the play that you need to make. You know, it's not super flashy, or it's not super, like, exciting, but you make the play when it needs to be made. When your number's called, you make that play. You know, talk to us a little bit about how you prep for that in practice.
Yeah, so at practice, I really just try to bring the energy every day. I think it is what you make it. So I try to just make every practice the best practice, trying new moves. I've been working on the three-point line some, trying to get that in, working on some new post moves with Bailey, just really like we push each other as much as we can. And then when we get in the game, like after that timeout, coach was like, we've got to stop it now. Like we got to stop the bleeding. So I was like, okay, I know what I need to do. It starts here. So then I try to have like a handoff to Kessa or go in and score. I just really try to bring energy wherever I'm at, because that really does fuel the team, is to have a loud bench or a loud court or a loud practice.
And maybe you talked about that timeout. Maybe you can kind of take us inside that second quarter timeout that kind of led to that 20-3 run.
Yeah, you did not want to be inside that timeout. Yeah. So it was, and it was rightfully so. Like we needed that. We kept letting them get to the left lane for some reason. They had a bunch of layups on us, and then we just couldn't. We had to find our girls better, and we weren't being able to score. And then we weren't getting second chance rebounds, which is what we were normally really good at. So after that, like then we had goals, and we came out fiery because we didn't want to be back in that timeout again. So that's exactly what we did. We came back out.
Love to hear it. You know, there's got to be up there as one of your favorite moments of the year. What are some of your other favorite moments so far this year? You know, you still have 7 games left, but what have kind of been those moments for you this year?
We just joke every day. We always have new, like we come up with names for ourselves, or favorite moment. I don't know.
What about like our trips or bus rides or?
Yeah, our
all
bus
the
rides are
things.
pretty fun.
Are the bus rides actually fun, or is that just are
Oh,
they kind of
no.
annoying too? I don't know.
No, they're fun, right?
I haven't been on many bus rides this year, so I've had to miss some of it. But Andrew's definitely said some of those bus rides are pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, because we're in the back, so they can't really hear us. So we just say and do whatever back there, kind of. And just,
Are you upset you're missing out, Coach?
I was kind of. I kind of enjoy taking some videos, especially like when they get into like their singing spurts.
Oh,
They
yes.
start singing all their songs.
Oh,
Those are
yes.
pretty fun too. But so I've missed it more than I've dreaded it this year.
Oh, we're gonna zero back in on basketball here. You know, how has this team kind of grown? You know, I mentioned it to your coach. You're 9-2 in your past 11 games. What has this kind of stretch of stringing together quite a few wins kind of meant as a team moving forward?
Yeah, so I think each year we just keep getting better and better because we keep just finding ourselves. And I think especially this year we work really well. We flow together. We know what our strength is, and we can each set each other up and use it. So we work just real well together. And I think we finally found that in this season, like you said, with the 9-2. Like so in the future, I think we're only getting better from here. I think we can only just continue to grow off each other and finish. And yeah.
And, you know, basketball's a team game, but individually, what do you see you kind of need to work on this second round of conference?
I think I need to just have more confidence. I think I have the ability. I sometimes forget how like tall and strong I am, but if I just use that, I can really finish a lot more. And then just all those little plays, like getting the second chance rebounds for my teammates, help side. That way, like, you know, we don't pick up some fouls or to give our guards like a break a little bit when they get screened real hard. Just overall, just trying to help out on all the small things, and then keeping the energy going, keeping everybody pushing through, because January and February is a hard time because basketball is a long season. So these next 2 months are going to be a push mentally and physically.
You know, I kind of have this next question for both of you guys. Let you guys decide who goes first. What has this group kind of meant to both of you guys so far?
This group is special, obviously, for a couple reasons. One is just starting this summer, I felt like I saw them click right away with how well things were going to happen and our new offense that we were putting in, and just the overall, like, the want to be in the gym. I felt like it was really, really prevalent this year, especially starting in the summer. So I was excited for that side of all the basketball things, but then also just on like more of a personal side, all of the way that they've just supported me and been with me and helped me kind of get through the pregnancy and all the things. And I just feel like I have a very deep connection with this group as well, and just had a lot of fun with them and all the jokes and all the things. This is probably one of the closest teams that I've felt that I've been close to as a coach as well. Even though I've been away at different times, I think that they've done a really great job of being true to themselves and having some personality, but then also just really making sure that their teammates are in it to reach our goals for the end of the season. And I think that they have a really good balance of both of those things, so it makes me really happy as a coach too.
Yeah, so I mean, this team really has, because we've been with Coach since her first year. My grade has. So I mean, it's been really nice to grow with her and to just see how like she's become as coach. And then with the girls, I mean, we have just clicked. Like I see them more than I see my brother. Like because when I get home sometimes from like games, like he'll already be in bed, and now like I see you more than I see like my parents. So we really are a family, and for 4 months straight, we just want to push each other, make each other better, because we have a real shot of like, you know, making it far this season.
Yeah, you talk about making it far. My last question for both of you guys: what's the end goal? You know, you have 7 games left. You can see the ending's in sight. You know, the ending of the regular season in sight. What's kind of the end goal this year?
So I get as far as we can. I really just want to make it past regional championships, get us on that poster. I want like to leave something here that like, yes, we were a good team, and I want people to remember that, because we work so hard.
Yeah, I think same thing for me. Definitely get over 20 wins. I think that that's a goal that I have every season as a coach, just to show that we are capable of all of those wins. But then for them, there hasn't been anything past a regional championship since 2010. So we want to be that mark. And like Abby said, this team means a lot, and they're a really good group. So just something to look back on and be like, that was the year of this group.
Yeah, and those goals are definitely attainable from what I've seen when I've watched. And you mentioned 2010. I mean, some of these kids, they were being born in 2010 that are on their team. It's kind of crazy to think that maybe they'll be a part of the first regional championship since their birth.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that'll just about wrap it up here for MTC. I'd like to thank our special guests, Bennett and then Abby Peterson, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
We'll see you at the next game.